Believe me, my dear friend, there is a moral to the story that I'm about to tell that I haven't told yet. You need to hear this. I found myself being tempted to be in my feelings today. And if you're Gen Z or Gen X or whatever, or millennial, you know what that means. I found myself feeling certain things that felt strange, but at the same time, it felt good to feel them. But I asked myself, do I really believe these things that I feel the temptation to feel? Because I can't say that I feel something that I don't acknowledge. My will decides what I feel. And I'm going to tell you guys what it is. Truthfully, I woke up in the morning and I was just replaying certain events, certain things that I've seen in there are certain things I've seen in recent times. For one, I was I remember that I was going through a video of a Jewish comedian who I'm a big fan of. He's no longer, I don't know if he's alive today. No, he's not actually, Jackie Mason. And I was watching some of his old stuff. And there was one of his shows where he was talking about why Jewish people are successful. And he was talking about how Jewish people strive for success because of the persecution and everything. And unlike other times, I found myself being almost a little bit irritated as I was listening to that. And I was like, why am I feeling irritated by this? Or no, the temptation to feel irritated. And I was asking myself, why am I feeling like this? I couldn't really, put my finger in it. And then I watched some clips from the Republican Jewish Convention, and I saw a speech by a guy, and I'm sure some of you who watch my content will know who that is, but I saw him speaking, and that speech incensed me even, well, was a temptation for me to be incensed even further. Because, like, I'll be honest, I'll be really honest. I don't like this idea I don't like the idea that I feel sometimes of people making it seem like you have to worship Jewish people and stuff. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And I am for the state of Israel existing, and I wish Israelis the best. I wish Jewish people, Arab people, everybody the best. And I am very anti-Hamas. At the same time, I don't like the idea of acting like certain things don't exist, and then you put the wool over your eyes, and then you can say stuff about black people or white people or Arab, whatever, but you can't say certain things about one group. I don't like that. I don't think it's balanced. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day who said to me he believes, he's not Jewish, but he said to me he believes that Jewish people deserve special protection because of the persecution they face. And I was like, bro, what are you talking about? I mean, and when he says special protection, he doesn't mean physical. He means from even being discussed. I was like, nah, brother. I mean, I love you, man, but what are you talking about? I think that most groups at different points in history could then claim that, because atrocities, believe it or not, have happened to almost every group. And okay, I could just advocate for black people right now and say, well, you know what? People shouldn't talk about black people and whatnot, and black people should get reparations. Speaking of which, I saw someone write something, and please someone confirm this if it's true, because I have to look into it myself. So I'm not saying that it's true. I just don't know. Someone was stating that apparently Jewish people got reparations from the Germans and whatnot. I don't know if this is true. I want to confirm. I will confirm by the next video. I will know for sure. So speculation, speculation. So you know what? I'm going to drop that because I was going to talk about that. Change my mind because I don't like talking about things that I don't know. I was going to get to another point. Anyhow, speaking of protections, this is the point I was going to get to. Speaking of protections, I think that if you're going to single out one group to be protected, even verbally, just from being discussed, not even insulted or anything, then you will end up having to do the same thing for everybody. I think if you really want to be just, but just let's look at the last 2 centuries. Black people have as much of a claim as anybody, or at least close, to say, oh, well, we don't discuss us too. And I don't believe in not calling out bad behavior from any group, be it black, white, Jewish, Arab, whatever. Anyway, I say all that to say this. All those thoughts culminated with me feeling a bit irritated, when I was thinking about it all, and I found myself thinking, why am I getting irritated listening to Jackie Mason talk about Jewish people being accomplished? Because I said, if you were to be talking about, if it was another comedian of another race or ethnicity talking about his own race or ethnicity, would I, even feel anything about it? Probably not. So I thought to myself, you know what? This is how the devil swoops in, if you allow him. He will take a particular thing, like a legitimate grievance that you have, and he'll try and manipulate you to make you spiteful and hateful. And I was like, nah, I was like, but hold on. If a Nigerian comedian, for instance, came up and was like, Nigerians are very industrious people and they're blah, 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 I wouldn't have no issue with it. So why would I all of a sudden have an issue with a Jewish person saying that? And I realized that exactly what I've been saying here on this channel. You can have a problem with something a person does, or a group of people, or a government, whatever, but be careful, be very careful to never fall into the trap of becoming hateful. And that is a trap that everybody can fall into, because when you see an injustice, especially when you see an injustice that you wish to rectify, but you don't know how to rectify, you become so scared that almost everything you see has to be towards facing or rectifying that injustice that you've seen. And I plead with you guys, I plead with you, be very, very careful of this. Be very, very careful. Because it's not as if Black people, white people, Jewish people, whatever, any group hasn't had people who have done bad things from that group. But the moment you start feeling like one group of people is the problem for every problem, bro, you're opening up a space for the devil to come in there and make you a spiteful, hateful person that tends to be aligned with other spiteful, hateful people. I'm being honest, and I'm giving an honest example of what I felt tempted to be or become today. So I'm just telling you how real this is. And yet people accuse me of being, I don't know, Zion. I'm definitely not whatever. I don't even want to get into that conversation. I'm just going to leave that, But anyhow, I just believe in being balanced and being honest and the truth. And I know that the truth cannot be encapsulated in one individual. I may say something truthful and somebody else may say something truthful. That does not even mean that the person speaking the truth is off or for the truth. They may just say the truth sometimes. And you people have to understand.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
I just had to throw that in there. Listen, you have to understand that the most intelligent way the devil can sway you in the wrong direction is by giving you a lot of truth, telling you stuff that you know is true to incite you, and then putting his lies in there. And sometimes we even know what is a lie. We just ignore it because we're hearing things that we like. I said this in another video, and some people were coming at me and insulting me because I was talking about Nick. Of course, Nick may say some things that are correct, but his person and his agenda I cannot align myself with, nor do I think people who are for God should. I don't think people who are for God should align themselves with such rhetoric either. But then at the end of the day, you have the freedom to choose what you want to do. But some people come on here and they insult me and they think that that's going to get to me. I don't know you. How can I care about your insults? God bless you. I really genuinely mean that. I really wish you well, Anyhow, listen, all I'm saying is follow the truth, follow Jesus Christ, follow the light. Even if you feel that people are your enemies for whatever reason. Now, this is not a racial thing. Just whoever seems to be opposing you in your life. Remember that Jesus said that we should love our enemies and pray for them who despitefully use us. Meaning that we don't have to like people who go against us, but we should still wish them well. And what is well? The best thing you can wish anybody in this life is the knowledge of Jesus Christ. That's about it. So, that being said, if you like what we're doing here, you can support the content by subscribing and hitting the notification bell, perhaps liking it so the algorithms push it out. Plus, if you like my work, you can support the channel by buying me a coffee, which I've left in the description and in the comments. And sometimes I don't even say that in my videos because I just forget. But then you have to be a bit more so-called YouTube professional. Either way, the truth must be told, and Jesus Christ is King. God bless, guys.